Hello everybody and welcome to Free UFC Bet Picks show. In this video we are breaking down a strawweight matchup between Claudia Gadelha and Xiaonan. It is our first fight in the main card of UFC Vegas 13 coming up this Saturday, November 7th. So let's get into it. Gadelha is our underdog at plus 110. She's got a record of 18-4. Half of those wins by decision, all 4 losses by decision, but to be fair, she went up against some great fighters. 2 of those losses were against the champion, Jacek, so can't really hold that against her. Her UFC record is 7-4. She was 11-0 actually before entering the UFC, so started her career off on a great note. She's going up against Xiaonan, who is the favorite at minus 139. Her record is 12-1. She also has 1 no contest. Her wins are, out of the 12, she's got 5 KOs, 7 decisions, and her 1 loss by submission. In the UFC, Jan is 5-0. All of her wins have been by unanimous decision. She's got that brutal sidekick that I love to watch. She's got good distance striking. Gadelha is, she's great at wrestling, submissions, takedowns. So, I mean, this is kind of a toss-up here, too. It's hard to tell who's going to take this one. I personally like Jan for it. I just think she's going to get in there and get the job done, and I think she can kind of outlast on the cardio there and just get the points for each round. I think the popular decision here is Jan by decision. So what do you think about this one?
Yeah, totally agreed. Jan's really, really good. Not a lot of people know her. You see her and she's not shredded. Her Tapology picture, she's in a gi. It's kind of like an old picture. You think, all right, like maybe she's not been fighting anybody. Like, is she strong enough to fight off Claudia, right? Is she really, like, putting any pop behind her punches in her kicks? Those front side kicks that you're describing, she uses them like a jab. Like, she just puts them out there and keeps so much distance. Nothing. Yeah. But everything she throws is heavy. She is strong. She's a good grappler. Even her feints she throws with, like, really aggressive intention. Everything she does has strength and some just power behind it, right? So she is a really good defensive boxer as well, just amazing footwork. Angela Hill tries lining up like a spinning back fist. By the time she even snaps her head around, before she even starts the upper body movement to throw the spinning back fist, Xiaonan's just dancing away, like 4 bounds away, 4 hops away, just like a deer, just out of there. Jan doesn't just throw jabs and straights and get out of there. She's in there throwing heavy hooks and combos and heavy kicks. And then when the counter comes, she's gone. I think she has the best defensive footwork in the division.
That's a big division too.
Yeah, with a lot of great strikers that we've already talked about. Some, like Ian Jacek, and just Jan makes these really good fighters look like they're stuck in the mud. And then, like I said, when she's throwing strikes, they're not just tissue paper, just for the judges. They're heavy. Now, when it comes to the judges, she does love to make those karate sounds like Miss Piggy. It sounds like a women's tennis match every time she throws. But, like we talked about, Thiago Moises' corner screaming and yelling every time he throws a strike. The judges hear that, and especially when there's no crowd. So when she's in there throwing heavy, impressive, loud strikes, and her opponents get kind of mesmerized, she becomes unbeatable. The Angela Hill fight was a really good fight. Jan, won round 3, and that's kind of what it came down to. Angela Hill got her down once. Jan immediately pulls rubber guard, immediately nullifies it, starts like threatening, and Angela Hill just didn't want any of it. They pop back up. Angela Hill then goes for kind of like a dirty boxing, like a trip kind of throw type of situation, and Jan just stays super heavy and lands on top. And that was actually the only concerning part of that fight. And it was weird. Jan should have just, Zhana should have popped right back up, made Hill, come get the hands. And she hung out there. Angela Hill ends up getting a really deep triangle. I wouldn't say she's saved by the bell, but, the round ended with a deep-ass triangle in there, round 1.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, God. So, Claudia's only path to victory is not necessarily that she takes her down and pounds her out. I honestly think Claudia's best option, most likely option, is that Jan stays in a position that she shouldn't because she's really confident in her jiu-jitsu. Again, kind of like Bobby Green, taking down Thiago, pulling 2 Kimura attempts on Thiago because he's so confident and ends up being in a bad situation. But,
yeah.
When Jan's on bottom, she has great defensive guard and gets out of there. The second round against Angela Hill starts, and Jan just comes in throwing heavy strikes and just takes back all the momentum. From there on out, just throwing. This is definitely an exaggeration, but I want to say like 50 body kicks. The second half of the fight, all she does is just keep the distance and throw body kicks on Angela Hill. I think it might be 50, honestly. So just a great performance against, a very good striker in Angela Hill, very strong. She's, Angela Hill's not the grappler that Claudia is, but, a good grappler. Claudia also just fought Angela Hill. Like, there's some nice little MMA math available here. It was a split decision win. A lot of people thought Angela Hill won. The striking was even. Claudia's fought the best strikers in the world, and she hangs with them. The problem is, here's the tale of this fight this weekend, is that beginning of the second round, a minute in, write it down, Claudia's going to be looking up at the clock, bouncing away, trying to get distance, thinking, oh, God, there's only got to be 30 seconds left in the second round, right? There's 4 minutes left in the second round. I swear that's going to happen. Claudia Claudia comes out and beats everyone in the first round. Looks like a monster. You're like, oh my God, how is she an underdog? How is she, she's about to just maul her, right? The problem is, once that quarter of the way through the second round hits and Claudia's just totally gassed, she's going to strike with Xiaonan for the whole 8 minutes remaining. And when she's going for a takedown in the third round, she doesn't even reach. She will not be able to reach Xiaonan's legs a single time in the third round. Xiaonan beats everyone by decision. Claudia never gets finished. You're so right that Xiaonan by points is an absolute lock. I'm surprised it's not minus money. It's plus 115. That is a recommended prop bet for this week is Xiaonan by decision, by points. If you start putting these methods and stuff into your parlays, that's where you cost yourself because you get every fight right except, holy crap, Xiaonan finishes her at the end of the third. Now my parlay lost because Xiaonan was a little bit better than we thought, or Gadelha was a little bit less durable, just maybe didn't have the cardio that she normally has. A lot of being durable comes down to your cardio, and because your brain needs to pump, you got to pump that oxygen through to your brain to wake you back up. And, so Gadelha, we think she's extremely durable, not going to have anything for Xiaonan the final 10 minutes of the fight. Xiaonan by decision.
Seems pretty safe, yeah.
Yeah, and it's and thank God that Claudia Gadelha is such a household name. People are still betting on her. They just haven't seen Xiaonan. Romanov is going to be a lot of people's favorite fighters on Saturday. Xiaonan, everyone's going to be all in on the Xiaonan bandwagon Saturday night.
Yeah, those are probably the 2 fighters I'm most excited about for this weekend's card, actually.
Yeah.
To prove your point. Let's look at their fantasy score or fantasy prices here real fast. Gadelha is at 7,900. Her average points per fight is 74. Xiaonan is at 8,300, and her average points per fight is 88.8. So I'm thinking Jan looks pretty good here. I mean, we're pretty sure she's going to go by decision, though, which you have mentioned is not great for fantasy. Are you picking up either of these ladies?
I think 8,300 for Xiaonan that we feel very confident in is pretty safe. She does put on a nice pace and has a lot of significant strikes. She's not going to finish Gadelha, which is what you want.
Right.
But I think, 8,300 for Xiaonan is really good value. Gadelha, I'm actually surprised that she's scored that high. She keeps, so I'll mention this. On FanDuel, you get points for defending takedowns. So you kind of want the striker who's facing the grappler there. Like, Xiaonan is even more attractive in FanDuel. On DraftKings, you get points for ground transitions. So if Claudia gets her down and goes to side control, gets her back for a little while, unsuccessfully tries her ground and pound for the first round and gasses herself out, she's going to get points for those transitions and stuff. So I'd have to assume that these, and we're going off DraftKings here. So part of the point is I don't think Claudia scores that high on FanDuel fantasy points per fight because she's not getting those transitions, right? That 74 I think is misleading. She's not going to score 74 points in this fight, even if she wins. So total pass on Claudia, and I think that's really good value on Xiaonan. And I'll mention this. A lot of times the women fighters are low owned because we need finishes, right? So the women's fighters are they're always very low owned. And Xiaonan's not a household name. She's going to be low owned. I don't think she's going to be in the optimal lineup necessarily, but gosh, at that value, she freaking might be because you get to pick, some higher cost fighters up top. I like Xiaonan in DFS.
All right. I think that pretty much does it for Gadelha versus Xiaonan. We both got Xiaonan. Like Aaron said, she might be a good DraftKings pick there. I think that's all we have to say about that one. Our next fight will be, remind me how to pronounce this one.
Oh, Hani Barcelos?
Hani Barcelos versus Khalid Taha. So make sure you like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and we will be going over that video next, so make sure you join us there.